puppy people, Jude the Puppy Nanny here. Let's talk about training your puppy to walk nicely on a leash. And I'm going to use the Turid Rugaas method. You need a flat buckle collar, a 6-foot woven nylon or leather leash, not a retractable leash. They're fine for dogs who already know how to walk on a leash, but they're a very poor training tool because when we're training our dogs to walk on a leash, we want to have a loose leash. And with a retractable leash, of course, they're never loose. So they don't work in this instance. And you will want lots of high-value treats. My training hero, current training hero, is Zach George, a young man from New Orleans, and he uses turkey as a treat. And I also have a young man who comes to puppy playtime, and he always has ham or leftover chicken or something really good in his pocket. And he gets dogs to do things that other people using less valuable treats do. And of course, like with any other training, you want to have lots of patience and you want persistence. It's sort of a first cousin, if you like, to consistence. You want both of them. You want consistency and you want persistence. And it's the 1, 2, 3, 4 method. So you teach the dog a sound signal. You can slap your thigh. You can go, that's what I would probably do. You stop when the leash goes taut. You wait 2 seconds. Then you make that signal. And you praise him when he begins to look at you. Then you change direction, walk 2 to 3 steps, and give him a treat for following you. First of all, you start with no leash, of course, because puppies tend to follow you around the house, so you encourage them to follow you in the house and use your sound signal. And when they look at you, give them a reward, and give them a reward with a treat for following you. So they're following you, you go, puppy looks at you, you walk another step, he comes to you and gets the treat. So here we go with step 1. Stand close to your pup in a quiet place. Have your treat ready. It's very important. That quiet place is very important when you're training anything new. You don't want to have any distractions. So you make your sound, and the instant he begins to look at you, like he even begins to turn his head, tell him what a good boy he is, and give him the treat. Repeat that 3, 4, 5 times, so that the sound that you make in his mind equals a treat. So that means a treat's coming. So now for step 2, you're going to remain in a quiet place with no distractions. You're going to make the sound. You're going to praise the pup when he looks at you, and you're going to take 2 steps away from him. And when he gets to you, you're going to give him the reward. So you can see that he's beginning to follow you. So you're going to continue this in a no distraction area. Make the sound, praise him when he looks at you, take 2 to 3 steps, and give the treat when he gets to you. Make the sound again and change direction. So you can do a zigzag, you can go back and forth, you can do whatever the space allows you to do. And you will again repeat this 3 to 5 times in a row, changing direction each time. So that's praise when the pup looks at you after you make the sound, and you give him his reward when he follows that 2 or 3 steps that you've made. Step 4 is to, again, there's still no distractions, but you're going to put a leash on this time, and you're going to do exactly as you have been doing. You're going to go, you're going to wait for him to look at you. Then you're going to take a step or 2, and when he gets to you, you're going to give him the treat. Please make sure that the leash is loose. We don't want to pull it or put any pressure on it whatsoever. And so we're going to still continuing where there are no distractions, but what we're going to add now is a little bit of distance. We're going to walk a few steps farther each time. So that doesn't mean go from 3 to 10. That means go from 3 to 4, from 3 to 5, from 3 to 6, and change direction often, and gradually increase the amount of time that you practice. We started with 3 to 5 repetitions. you can work up to 5 minutes, 7 minutes, 10 minutes, but you want to be conscious of what your pup is doing, because when he loses focus, it's time to stop. It means he's tired or he just can't concentrate anymore. And I don't know about you, but I can relate to that. There comes a time when I just can't focus anymore. Now you can begin to add distractions. And you're going to start with them at a distance. So, for example, you're going to walk down one side of the street. If there are cars or bicycles, rollerblades, joggers, other animals, whatever it might be, just keep about a road's distance between you. And if you can keep your pup focused on you with the distraction a street, on the other side of the street, then you can begin to move closer. Obviously, I'm using the street as a measurement. I'm not suggesting you start walking your pup down the middle of the street. But do continue to move closer to that distraction if your pup is continuing to stay focused on you. And it's really important that you continue to give lots and lots of praise and encouragement because your puppy's doing well or trying very hard to do well. But you want to randomize the treats. Still give them, but make them intermittent and random. So whenever he does it particularly quickly, or he follows faster and longer than he ever has before, then you can give him a treat, and sometimes give him 2 or 3. But like with all training, you never ever stop giving them entirely, because first of all, we like to give our pups and our dogs rewards, but secondly, it provides encouragement. And if you have been a puller in the past, or your dog has been a puller, this is now when it must stop. You must not pull or jerk or pop the leash. That's not the method that we're using here. And if or when your puppy pulls, stop. Go back to step 1. Make the noise. Pup looks at you, give him a reward. If pup looks at you, give him praise. I'm sorry. Make 1 or 2 steps. Give him the reward. And it means, just so you know, what it means is if you're just starting to train your puppy to walk on a leash, you're not going to go very far for some time yet. This is a very slow and steady process. And if you only get 3 or 4 steps today, that's fine. You'll have them with you for a long time, and you'll be able to walk with pleasure if you follow this method. So, what about if he just stops? Then you need to go and stand beside him. Same deal. Make the sound. When he looks at you, you go, "Oh, what a good boy." And then make a step or 2, give him a reward, and then move in another direction. And every time he stops, you do the same thing. And there's the consistency and the persistence that always pays off in puppy training. I talked about this being the Turid Rugaas method. She is a world-renowned Swedish dog trainer. She's quite an amazing woman. She has several books out. One of them is the one in which this method is to be found, called My Dog Pulls, What Do I Do? And if you want your very own copy of that, which is a very short book, absolute gold, lots of pictures, you can go to www.dogwise.com. And I think one of the things I really appreciate about Turid is her tremendous respect for another species, and she always uses positive and relationship building methods. If you need training help in other areas besides leash walking, then go to judethepuppynanny.com. In my book, The Puppy Nanny's Guide to Training Your Puppy, you'll find all the basic manners that you need to train your puppy to do as soon as you bring him home. Steps, easy steps that will train him to sit, to stay, to come, to lie down. All the basic puppy manners. It sells for $14.99 at judethepuppynanny.com. I'll put the link in the description below this video, and the leash walking chapter begins on page 113. And you know, if you follow this method of training, you will be rewarded. And your reward will be that you'll have way more fun when you go for walks with your dog. You may see this as a reward or not, but you will get outside regardless of the weather because dogs don't mind the rain or the snow. You will meet new people and new dogs, and so will your dog, so that will be good socialization for him and for you. And while you're doing this wonderful training and being out walking with your dog, you'll create the kind of bond that you have always wanted to have with your dog. And of course, in doing all of this and in everything else you do with your dog, remember, have fun. That's it for this time.